So many of you come to this channel and you reach out because you're looking for help. Maybe you're thinking about moving to Minnesota or buying a home here. Maybe you're selling and want to buy a new place. But people are always asking me questions about where the best places to live in Minnesota are, the best suburbs, the best neighborhoods. And naturally with a channel like this, that's going to bring up some challenges and some questions that I just simply can't answer. Because I know I have to dodge your questions sometime a little bit, or I can't answer as directly as you would like, I thought I'd shoot this very quick, short little video for you to help explain some of that, to help you understand what questions I can't answer, why I can't answer them, and where you can get those answers for yourself. So in order for us to get into all that, I need to lay a quick foundation for you with two things. First of all, I need you to understand I absolutely unequivocally support the Equal Housing and Fair Housing Acts. I love being able to help people that don't think they can buy a home to be able to get into home ownership, and I love helping literally pretty much everybody except for jerks, which leads me to number two, and that is this video is probably going to bring out a bunch of big emotions for people. Typically in the comment section, I just let you guys say what you're going to say a little bit. Maybe I'm a little snarky in return, but typically I'll leave it there. That's not going to be the case on this video. So if you're going to be a jerk, if you're going to make somebody feel uncomfortable, if you're going to be insensitive to things that other people have gone through, maybe that wasn't your experience. But if that's what you're looking to do, honestly, I'm just going to delete the comments on this one. So if you're a jerk, you can just go ahead and bounce now. But otherwise, would love to see you guys in the comment section. All right, now that we've gotten that out of the way, let's get into it. So first of all, I need to rewind the clock a little bit and let's talk about some history of the US. Now it's gonna be very brief, I promise, so stick with me. But obviously back in the day, the Emancipation Proclamation was put into place, making slavery illegal in that. But it took a full 100 years for the government to step in and create what's called the Fair Housing Act. And basically the goal of that was to create equal housing opportunity for basically everybody. And they started with one set of protected classes, as simple as race, and then they kept adding and adding and adding to it. Then you've also got states like Minnesota, where we're at, that have also added additional protected classes. What a lot of people don't realize, however, though, is even in the past few decades, there's still been practices that have made it a lot more difficult for certain classifications of people to be able to buy a home. And that's not just race, obviously with black people back in the day. They would have to pay higher interest rates just because of the color of their skin. Or certain homeowners wouldn't sell to somebody just based off of race, or even religion, for example, and they were a devout Catholic, and so they would only sell to a Catholic family or something like this. So the government had to step in to squash all of this that's going on. But then if we fast forward into today, the Fair Housing Act with real estate professionals specifically, they're very, very strict with us about we don't ever want to come across like we're steering people to or from a neighborhood, particularly based on whatever people group might be living there. So back to the topic of the questions that I can't answer, and thank you for sticking with me this long. I'm gonna get you with all five right here, right now. Then I'll explain why, and then again, how you can get some of the resources to get your questions answered if you're thinking about moving to or from or around Minnesota, so that you can figure out the best place to live. Those questions are things like, what area can I move to that's the most or least diverse? That's things like, what's the best city for a small family? That's where can I find a very Catholic area, for example. That would also be things like, where are their lowest crime rates, which sometimes surprises people. I get asked all the time about crime rates, and those types of things are just simply questions that I can't answer. So why can't we answer questions like this as real estate professionals? And it really comes back to the Fair Housing Act and steering specifically. So if we do, we're coming very, very close to some legal liability of getting ourselves in hot water. And those protected classes that we have a hard time talking about are gonna be things like race, color, national origin, religion, national creed, sex, gender identity, marital status, sexual orientation, dependence on public assistance, disability. There's probably a few more that I'm forgetting, but we'll put them up on screen for you. But if we talk about any of those kinds of things, it just opens up to us huge liability because we could be seen as steering people. So let's take diversity, for example. When I get the question, where's the most or least diverse area, right? Typically, almost always it's people that are looking for areas with high diversity, right? They are, maybe they're of a minority themselves and they're wanting to be comfortable in the area they're living in, or I've even had white people that just want to be in a diverse area, right? Whatever your situation may be, if we communicate that type of information to you, the problem is it can get twisted to other people and they can say, oh, well, Joe's steering people away from these neighborhoods, right? Well, they're steering people to a Hispanic area and therefore it's away from a Somali neighborhood, or vice versa, right? Our words can get twisted and that opens us up to a huge legal liability, even though that was never the intention, right? We want equal opportunity in housing for everybody. But in the world of legal liability, it just simply opens us up too much. And that can be the case if we talk about any of those protected classes. That can be a neighborhood that's great for young families. That can be a neighborhood that's great for older people. That can be for the LGBTQ plus community. It can be for any of those types of protected classes. And so we just got to be very careful. And again, that's not just race. So that can be against any of the public classes that it opens us up to some legal liability there if we start talking about where it is good for this or is bad for that. And again, you're probably asking, well, what about crime rates, right? That's not a protected class. Obviously, criminals are not a protected class. However, we can also be seen as stigmatizing an area, right? So if I say, well, don't move to this area because it's high crime and you should move here instead, well, then all of a sudden that stigmatizes one area. And then if all of a sudden a whole bunch of agents, thousands of agents start doing that, and then this area is known as the bad area and this is known as the good area, then all of a sudden it hurts all of this people group's home values and it helps all of these, right? So we're still in effect steering people to or from an area based on that, which can be factual, or it can also just be a stigma that's created around a neighborhood, and that's not fair to those people as well in whatever community that we're steering people to or from. So hopefully that'll make a little bit of sense for you why we can't talk about that. So here's where you can get information of where you can find the answers to these questions. First, one of the sites that I really enjoy is niche.com. So you can go there. They compile all sorts of information. You can search by city, you can search by school district, you can search by county, I believe even, but then they'll boil it down based on their own data points and whatever, which ones have the best school scores, which ones have the lowest crime, which ones have whatever, and they'll give them a rating based on about, I think, 10 or 12 different metrics. So you can go to niche.com, see a lot of that really good information there. The second one I really like is neighborhoodscout.com, and this one you can compare one neighborhood to another. They've got kind of a heat map layout, and so it's less intuitive as far as the amount of information that they cover, but it is a really nice way to compare one city from another. Third I really like is Census.gov/quickfacts. This is the government's website, obviously, where you can just get the cold data from the most recent 2020 census that was out. It'll just give you cold facts between different cities that you can compare on different things like median income, and there's no interpretation. It's literally just the facts. Fourth, if you're looking for prices on home, a lot of people want to know what the most affordable communities are. You can send me specific cities or counties, and I can pull that data for you out of our MLS. That's the best local spot to find that I've ever seen. So if you're looking for that, just shoot me an email. I'll put all my contact info down below, or you can go to jcarmack.com. But let me know which cities you're looking at, and I can give you a printout of just specifically those areas, and we can look at days on market. We can look at the number of homes available, any kind of metric you're looking for. The MLS is a really good spot. Fifth, regarding crime maps. So there's a few different resources you can go to this one, but generally speaking in Minnesota, most of our bigger cities, the police departments have their crime statistics online. So I would tell you first, go to those cities, pull up their website, see if you can't find the crime data for those cities. Or if you can't, you can also just call the police department and they can give you that crime data specifically to a neighborhood, specifically to the city. They might be able to send you a report if it's not available online. But the police departments are a great resource. Again, zero interpretation, zero voting how people feel about stuff, and it's just the facts. Number 6, if you're looking for outdoor spaces, playgrounds, parks, that kind of thing, 3 different resources that you can check out. First one's gonna be Minnesota DNRs. So this is the Department of Natural Resources. You can go to the state's website and they've got all the different state parks. So you can find an area that's close to one of those if that's what you like. Second, you can also check out Three Rivers Parks District. So these have some of the coolest parks in our area. If you're looking for playground stuff like that, some of them have sandy beaches you can go to. Some of them have sledding hills, golf courses, trails, all kinds of stuff. So check out Three Rivers Parks is definitely some of our favorites. Last, you can also go to the city websites. So pretty much all of the cities that I've seen will have on their website different maps of all the different parks, trails, sledding hills, different stuff like that. So it's the smaller community stuff. So you're looking for a neighborhood that's got a neighborhood park, that would be the way to go. And 7th, and this might be my favorite resource, you can go to exploreminnesota.com. If you haven't seen that website, it's kind of our tourism website for the state, but it's a super cool place. You can find little restaurants, you can find bars, you can find coffee shops, you can find breweries, you can find city festivals. There's calendar of events. You can see what parades are going on, all the different things that are going on around the state as far as activities or trails and that kind of stuff. So really, really cool site. If you're looking for best places to live, exploreminnesota.com is a really cool website. At the end of the day, we just want to make sure that everyone has an equal opportunity to own a home. Obviously, I hate not being able to answer questions, but hopefully this video helps you understand why. And then down in the description, you'll get all the links for where you can get all of those answers and more. So thanks so much for watching. Thanks for understanding, and I'll see you next time.